Hi, hello, welcome back. If you're not new here, welcome back. Hi, missed you. If you are new here, my name is Linnea. I live in the suburbs and we are trying to become semi-self-sufficient where we garden, we can, we make sourdough, we do fun recipes. So if that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing. Today, we are gonna make sourdough. I have a lot of sourdough videos, I feel, but last week I made the best loaf of sourdough I think I've ever made in my life. And it's because I found a recipe and I kind of did not follow the recipe, but I remember it. I remember what I did. So I'm gonna make a video and we're just gonna get started. In this bowl here, I have 375 grams of warm water. I'm gonna add 110 grams of active starter. The recipe said 50 to 100 grams. I'm pretty sure I did like 113 grams, but I'm gonna do 110 grams. So that's what we're gonna do. Also, keep in mind, sourdough is different on every single day because some days my kitchen is warm, some days my kitchen is cold. And on the cold days, my sourdough does not turn out as good as on the warm days. So keep in mind, this recipe might work for you, it might not. Maybe it will, hopefully, but it's a good one for me. So we're making a video. All right, I'll mix it up. All right, now I'm gonna use 400 grams of bread flour. The recipe that I follow says 500 grams of bread flour, but I changed it to 400 grams of bread flour and 100 grams of whole wheat flour. I'm gonna mix all this together and then I'm gonna let it sit here for about 20 minutes and then we will add the salt. All right, now I'm gonna add 12 grams of salt. It says between 9 and 12. I like 12. Take it down. Gotta take the ring off. And we're just gonna gently knead it in, and then I'm gonna cover it again for 30 minutes, and then we'll start the stretch and folds. Now, stretch and folds, I know there's a lot of people that say it's not necessary, and there's a lot of people that say it is necessary. In my own personal, many times making bread like this, stretch and folds help. But like, if stretch and folds don't work for you, then don't do it. I'm all about doing what works for you. And this is what works for me. So, after I let this sit for about 30 minutes, I'm gonna come back and do a set of stretch and folds every 15 to 20 minutes for the first hour. And then after that, I'm gonna do another set of stretch and folds every like 30 minutes for the next hour. So like, I don't know, six total, if I can math. And yeah, that's what works for me. You guys do what works for you. this is the last set of stretch and folds. And then, so the recipe that I kind of loosely followed basically says, if you want to like let this rest on the counter for a time period, I think it was like 6 to 8 hours, but it recommended, which is, this is what I did and I like to do, is letting your dough double by 50% volume. So like I can tell, I think you all can tell that there's kind of like lines in this bowl that I use. So it's kind of up to like this line right here. And I'll probably let it sit here until it gets up to about this line. And that is when I'll do my shaping in the winter. That takes a really long time. It's summer right now and it's, I don't know, 80 degrees outside. And it's pretty warm in our kitchen. So I'm guessing this is gonna take maybe 4 hours-ish. But to me, I get better loaves of bread when I let this double in size versus just letting it sit out on the counter for a certain amount of time, if that makes sense. Again, you all do you. This is just what I like to do. So I'm gonna cover it and let it sit out on my counter until it doubles in size. All right, so it has been about 4 hours and 15 minutes later, but this has doubled and it is like exactly the size that I want it to be. So what I did last time and what I feel like worked really well is I set it out on here. I'm gonna shape it and then I'm gonna let it sit there for about 30 minutes. I just got back from a run, so I'll just go shower while it's sitting there. And then I shape it again and then I put it in the Banneton basket. And I feel like it gave me a really good loaf last time. So that's what we're gonna do this time. And if you hear that squeaking, that is my dog squeaking his toy. Because I just got done running, he thinks that it's time to play, and he's bringing every single toy he owns to my feet. So that's where he's at. Oh gosh. I'm pretty sure also the recipe that I followed said to flip it over like this side and let it sit like this for 30 minutes. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'll be back in like 30 to 45 minutes depending on how long my shower takes. And then we're gonna reshape it and put it in the basket. All right, I straight lied. I didn't go take a shower. I talked with Jonathan and went outside with Calvin. And it's been like 30 minutes. So we're gonna shape this again, and then I'm gonna put it in this basket, of which I put rice flour in so it doesn't stick. You don't have to use rice flour. You can use whatever you want. It's just what works best for me. So I'm just gonna shape this again as quickly as possible. And we're gonna do that. And then I just top mine with this bowl cover thing that I have. And then I put it in a plastic bag and I put it in the fridge overnight for at least 12 hours, probably like 14. And then we'll get it out in the morning and bake it. So see you all in the morning. All right, guys, it is the next morning. It is probably 14-ish hours later, and this is what she looks like. I have my Dutch oven over here. I had it preheated in the oven to 500 degrees, and then I just now pulled it out and lowered the temperature to 450, and we're just gonna do that. And because we're feeling a little spicy, not really, it's not spice, I'm gonna spritz this with water. Kind of weird, but you know, you'll see why. I am gonna top it with a mix of sesame seeds, and I think I have never done this before, so YOLO. We're gonna top it with both of these. See how it turns out. I did sesame seeds last week on my bread, and it was fantastic. I've not tried the everything bagel seasoning, but we're gonna give it a go. Hopefully just give it a little oniony, garlicky flavor. And then we're gonna, it kind of helps it like stick to the sides. And then we are not going fancy with scoring today at all. I'm gonna put the lid on, bake it at 450 for 20 minutes, and then we will come back, take the lid off, and lower the temperature. Ooh, she looks good. All right, like I said, I did 20 minutes at 450, and then I always rotate it just because the back of my oven is hotter than the front. So just rotate it, take the lid off, and then I bake it at 425 for another 20 to 22-ish minutes. So we'll be back in around 20 minutes. Look at that. Would you just look at that? Wow. She's beautiful. Look at that. Look how poofy it is. I'm gonna let this sit out for at least an hour before I cut into it and let you all know what I think. But I'm thoroughly impressed with this recipe. Both times that I've made it, it has given me like such a round loaf of bread. So yeah, I'll be back in like an hour-ish to cut it. All right, you guys like my aesthetic cutting board? All right, I don't normally just cut it straight down the middle. Normally I start on the side, but I'm gonna give half to one of my friends. So we're just gonna cut it straight down the middle. This is the shitty thing about putting all of this on the top is I'm gonna cut this and it's gonna psh, and I don't want it to happen, but we oh god. She's going everywhere. I have like an aversion to crummy messes. Gives me a lot of anxiety. But we're about to see how she looks. Let's just open it up. Let's just open it up, why don't we? Oh, my cut job was pretty terrible, but oh my gosh, look at that. It looks so, it looks so good. Dang, I am thoroughly impressed with this recipe. Jonathan will be in here for lunch soon, so I will let him try it and see what he says. So let me just go have an anxiety attack about all these crumbs. Okay, bye. Okay, Jonathan's giving it a whirl. Even though he knows what it tastes like, we eat this a lot. It's a little different though, because I put the bagel seasoning on it.
I always feel like each loaf is always a little bit different.
I think it is. It's should be similar to the last one that I made, but I like it. It's very like.
You know what it reminds me of? The white bread you get at Cheesecake Factory.
Ooh, yeah, it does. It does have that like flavor. Yeah, especially because you put hard butter on it. They always give you rock hard butter on your cold bread. Yeah, it's good. We're gonna give the other half to Kathy. I don't even know if Kathy wants it, but we're giving it to her because we don't need the whole loaf. So Calvin is desperate for bread, but he won't eat it.
He won't?
I don't know. Try it. Oh, Calvin didn't get it.
I really, really like the bagel seasoning on it.
Really?
Well, there's onion in it. I love onion.
Yeah, you do love onion. That's a winner of a combination.
And like you were saying, the bottom isn't rock hard like you've had before. Like it's very nice and thin. It's like, you know, it's got like...
It's got a good crust,
yeah,
but it's not like...
a bit thicker here, but this is like perfect.
Exactly. This recipe is... I gotta remember it. Well, now that I made a video, I won't forget it. So, the memory's not the best. All right, we're gonna go have our lunch, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!